In This Must Be the Place, a retired rock star travels to New York City to find the man responsible for a humiliation suffered by his recently deceased father during World War II.
I don't know the first thing about him. All he ever did was search for his persecutor at Auschwitz. He never found him.
I am the passenger.
You know about the Holocaust?
In a general sort of way.
And your father? Did you know your father?
In a general sort of way.
I really didn't know much about This Must Be the Place, but I was somewhat interested in seeing it, mainly because of Sean Penn. He was clearly playing a pretty bizarre character, and from the trailer it kind of looked like he was almost unrecognizable, so I thought it would be interesting to see him get lost in a role like that. And while that certainly was interesting, and for the first 30 or so minutes of the movie I was intrigued, albeit a bit confused, unfortunately, I was not really into This Must Be the Place. I thought it got a little bit boring because it kind of became a road trip type of movie, and those aren't really my thing. I can certainly appreciate lots of things about the movie, but unfortunately for me personally, I just didn't really care for it that much. But let's get into it a little bit more, starting off with the plot and the writing. Like I said, unfortunately, I did think it got a bit boring, and it was very, very dry. There was humor to it, but it was extremely dry. And that's not really the type of thing that can grab me. Like I said, with road trip movies, you know, I don't get into it as much because I feel like it's just a character going from one other character to the next character to the next character. And so, in this case, you know, we're following Sean Penn along, and he comes across different people along the way, but they kind of just come and go, and so it's hard for me to really get into something like that. However, I can appreciate that if I personally was into road trip movies, it's got much more to it than you'd expect, and there's some interesting stuff to it. It's certainly unique, but of course this is my own personal opinion in this review, and so because I'm not really into movies like this, and I did think that the humor was a little bit too dry for me to really appreciate, I wasn't able to get into this movie. This also kind of goes along with the directing as well, because I thought that it felt a little bit dull throughout the movie. And what's interesting is the first 30 or so minutes, I was enjoying it, actually. I thought it was interesting, although, like I said, I was a bit confused because I thought the relationships were kind of confusing. I was like, okay, who is he to this person, and this person is who exactly? And I don't know, it was a little bit confusing, and I'm pretty sure I got it by now, but I might still be wrong, I have no idea. And so maybe that's actually what had me, you know, kind of paying attention, was that I was a little confused, but then, like I said, they kind of just go away, those characters, and so I guess in my head I was like, well, who cares who they were, because they've disappeared. I will say that the cinematography is excellent. I thought there were a lot of really, really cool shots, and there was a lot of wide-angle stuff going on that I thought was really cool because the camera kind of moved really quickly. So visually, the movie I thought was pretty well done. And acting-wise, even though I did enjoy watching Sean Penn sort of disappear into this bizarre character that he played, Cheyenne, I do think it was a little bit of a bizarre for the sake of being bizarre sort of situation. I understand that the whole look and, you know, demeanor served a purpose, of course, and it does have an arc across the whole movie toward the end, but I don't know. It just felt a little bit forced sometimes. I thought that Sean Penn was great, but it felt a little forced, and obviously this is not so much to do with the acting than it is, I guess, the writing or the directing, because, like I said, I do think Sean Penn was great, but something definitely felt a little bit off about it. And everybody else I thought was very good as well, no problem with the acting, but I really don't feel like going specific into anybody because, like I said, everybody kind of just came and went. The constant in the movie is Sean Penn, and everybody else, I mean, I think you see the beginning characters again a little bit toward the end, like quick glimpses, but other than that, yeah, they kind of go away, and that is why I find it difficult to get into a movie like this, and I found it difficult to get into this movie specifically, so I think that's pretty understandable, but like I said, I can appreciate that it was done well, and it definitely had some interesting stuff to it, and I did think the acting was very good, even though I do think Sean Penn's character might have been just kind of, like I said, bizarre, just to be bizarre. But that's really all I have to say about this movie. I didn't know what to expect going in, like I said, and unfortunately it didn't really grab me. I wasn't really that into it, so it's kind of just a whatever for me. So let me know in the comments what you thought of This Must Be the Place. Let me know if you totally disagree with me and you think, you know what, Eric, you are a fool. This is an incredible movie. Let me know. I'd like to know. Let me know what you thought of the acting. Let me know, of course, what you thought of Sean Penn as this character, Cheyenne. Let me know if you agree or disagree on the bizarre for the sake of being bizarre thing, or if you think that it was totally justified. Like I said, obviously served a purpose, specifically in the character's arc by the end of the movie, but, you know, I don't know. You can tell me what you think. Let me know anything that you want about This Must Be the Place, and that's pretty much it.
A lot of unusual things have been happening to me lately.